with
Don't
you.
put that on me. I'm not a sovereign citizen.
Turner. All right, the next case is Latanya Denise Turner versus Brian K. Widener, State of Georgia, Salah Holdings, Define Gresham, and Larry W. Johnson. All right, is there Miss Turner, Latanya Denise Turner?
Yes, I'm the attorney, in fact, on behalf of the principal, who is the resident agent.
Okay, that opening line already tells us where this is going. Whenever you hear someone saying, "I'm the attorney in fact for the principal," it's almost always a sovereign citizen style argument. They believe paperwork and trust language can override real law. Spoiler, it never works.
I have also already submitted forms appointing the judge over this matter to administrate on behalf of the principal. And I also submitted the rest of my entries on records. Now, with that being said, the Form
Miss Turner,
56
Miss Turner,
appointing judge.
Miss Turner, I gotta see you first.
Okay. I'm trying to, there I go.
Okay, there you are. All right, so
Okay.
Ms. Turner, very,
Uh,
very quickly. I've reviewed the information that you provided. First of all, you're suing with respect to a foreclosure, which is a situation that involves land and a determination of ownership with respect to land. That is not my jurisdiction. I'm in state court. State court does not have jurisdiction over determinations of land. We deal with dispossessories, which is a temporary situation with respect to land, the allowing someone to use your land in exchange for rent or your property in exchange for rent. But we do not deal with the whether a foreclosure is proper. So in this case, this court is going to have to transfer your case to the Superior Court of the county, depending on whether this is Clayton County that's involved. And so I
The judge's patience here is impressive. She's calmly explaining jurisdiction, one of the most basic rules of court. But people like Miss Turner often think if they say the right legal buzzwords, the court will lose authority. The irony? They usually end up proving the judge's point instead.
see you're suing the state of Georgia. Not sure how they're involved. Not sure how any of these parties are really have an interest in this case. But with respect to the jurisdiction with for foreclosures, that is not what I do. Okay. All right. Is there anyone else here on behalf of any of the other parties who either disagree with what I've said or who have anything that they would like to put on the record?
So, Your Honor, this is Larry Johnson. I
Yes.
represent Brian Widener as well as myself. I just
Okay.
want to point out to the court, this was initially filed and I was not named. And
Okay.
after I filed an answer on behalf of Mr. Widener, the plaintiff just stuck my name and added it to it without a court. At
Okay.
that point in time, she needed a court order. So I'm not personally, I mean, I'm only in this case because I filed an answer for
Yeah.
Mr. Widener.
Intended to name me too. So, Ms. Turner, I know you have a set of beliefs about how the law works, but the way we do it here is just because somebody files on behalf of another person, everybody's entitled to have an attorney represent them. And so you can't then sue the attorney for giving them a defense. Everybody who comes into the case doesn't get sued individually. Like there are people who are responsible, allegedly, for what you are contending happened. But then there are other people who they choose to hire to help them navigate the case. For the people who are navigating the case and for the judges who are dealing with the case, you don't get to sue them because they don't have an interest in at that level. They're just trying to help the other.
You can feel the courtroom professionals trying to hold it together. The attorney, Larry Johnson, is literally saying, "I got sued just for being a lawyer." That's how far removed from reality this case is. And the judge is still being respectful, trying to help her understand why that's not how due process works.
Person navigate the case, okay?
Could I get finished recording my interest on record?
No, ma'am. You've done that. You're the plaintiff.
Okay. Well, Judge, I would like to record my interest on record.
I'm not sure what that means, ma'am.
I'm the attorney of fact for on behalf of the principal, who is the registered agent. I already
Okay.
submitted the Form 56 upon you over the matter to
Okay,
administration
I
on
don't,
behalf of our principal.
Ms. Turner, nobody gets to appoint me over the case. I'm already appointed.
When Miss Turner asks to record her interest, She's probably reading from some pseudo-legal online guide. These folks truly believe if they say the magic words, the court will have to acknowledge their personal version of law. It's sad because they often lose legitimate cases due to this confusion.
To whatever is assigned to me through the clerk's office.
I appointed you through my, for my trustee, and Your Honor, I would like to add also to the case and ask you a question.
No, ma'am.
Yes or no?
The question that I'm not going to answer any questions because this is not my jurisdiction. I'm going to transfer the case to Superior Court and let them sort it out because land use and land and interest in land is under the jurisdiction of the Superior Court. Okay, so we'll get you an order. We'll also dismiss Mr. Larry Johnson from the case pending whatever the Superior Court decides because he's only here to represent the defendant, which the defendant has a right to hire an attorney to represent them, and that attorney doesn't deserve to be sued because they are helping somebody defend.
Here the judge finally draws a hard line. Nobody gets to appoint me. That's such a powerful statement. She's reminding everyone that courts follow law, not self-made. Trust documents. You can almost feel her patience wearing thin, but she's still composed.
Themselves.
This case is also in the federal court also.
Okay, then if it's in federal court, then it probably doesn't need to be here also. You shouldn't have a case running in two different courts at the same time. Okay, that's just going to cause confusion. And you're not going to achieve what it is you wish to achieve.
Okay, Your Honor, I know this court has no jurisdiction per 12 CFR 1500, and also is there or should there be an investment in private residential property in the United States? Or is deposit?
That is a question bigger than any of us can handle. People can invest in whatever they spend their money on. So at this point, I think that you're going a little bit too far afield. Like I said, we're going to go ahead and transfer this case to Superior Court, and my brother or sister judges on Superior.
Transferring the case to Superior Court was smart. It's her way of saying, let's get this to the right place and move on. Judges often use this strategy to de-escalate without confrontation.
Superior Court will help you sort out what it is going on. Okay. All righty. So we'll go ahead and get an answer out to all of you. Get an order out to all of you transferring this case to Superior Court. But just as an aside, Miss Turner, everybody who comes in as a representative of somebody else, if they're an attorney, don't sue them because it just makes the case harder to get through. Okay, if you want to achieve something with respect to finding out what happened with your foreclosure, don't keep adding people to the.
Your Honor, in this executive branch of law, I have a right to sue the attorney, anyone else involved.
Ms. Turner,
in this executive branch, I do have a right to sue them and anyone else involved.
It's nonsense. None of what you're saying makes sense.
She's actually giving good advice here. If Ms. Turner truly wanted justice for her foreclosure, she'd focus on her case instead of suing everyone in sight. But again, that's the trap of sovereign citizen ideology. It gives people a false sense of control through paperwork instead of evidence.
None of what, Ms. Turner,
it's federal law.
Ms. Turner, we're not in federal court. None of what you're saying makes sense. You haven't established an estate. There's no trustee. You're giving us word salad. You're just saying stuff that you've read or somebody told you was appropriate. It's essentially called a sovereign citizen, but
no, it's not a sovereign. No, it's not. I'm not a sovereign citizen.
If those things work, don't put everybody with
you. Don't put that on me. I'm not a sovereign citizen.
Turner, you've made statements that sovereigns use, and so
I have my trust set up, and I'm not a sovereign citizen.
Yes, ma'am.
I am a person working in my trust.
Okay,
I'm not a sovereign citizen.
All right,
that's against the law.
Okay,
I'm not a sovereign.
And there it is, the meltdown moment. The judge's line. None of what you're saying makes sense. You're just giving us word salad. Absolutely destroys the nonsense. At this point, even the courtroom can't pretend this makes sense anymore. It's both frustrating and oddly fascinating to watch.
I have my trust set up.
Okay.
In a way that it's working for me, and I have it set up.
Okay.
And that's what I'm working on, my trust.
Okay. All right, so we'll get that order out. Thank you. You're free to go at this time.
Thank you, Your Honor.
The judge ends it with grace. You're free to go. That's courtroom speak for. We're done here. Another day, another. I'm not a sovereign citizen. Case that proves exactly the opposite.